Hey guys, tired of feeling stuck in your dating life and striking out in the dating game? You're not alone. Maybe you just need some good coaching. Welcome to Just Ask Her, the no BS podcast for real dating advice straight from a woman's point of view. Dating expert Gracie Pleschourt and her co-host, certified life coach Tracy Pleschourt, are here to give you the play-by-play on how to attract more women you're interested in. So, let's take back control of your dating life. This is Just Ask Her.
Welcome back to Just Ask Her, the podcast that helps you date with confidence, connect with real women, and finally feel in control of your dating life. I'm your host, Gracie, here with my mom, certified life coach, and co-host, Tracy, and we're excited to be back for another episode.
Yes, we are. It feels like it's been
way too long.
Yeah, I was going to say a hot minute.
You used that right this time. It has been a hot minute. And yeah, we officially are back from our little hop across the pond to Europe. And that was a really fun vacation. I felt like it was the perfect amount of time, but I definitely towards the end was like, okay, I'm ready to go home and get back into the groove of things. It feels like a really long time since we've recorded.
Yeah. I'm happy to be back too. It was a great vacation. It's the first time I had been to Europe.
Yeah.
It was exciting and
it feels like a whole new world over there.
It does, but it truly made me appreciate home.
Yeah.
And happy to be back.
You kept saying that. I felt like the first time I went there, I was like, oh my God, why doesn't everybody live here? I don't know that I could actually live there if I really thought about it, but I do think that they have a lot going for them that we don't have here. The food is so much better in Europe, everywhere.
Yeah, I would agree.
Coffee is so much better.
Yeah.
Our coffee sucks now that we're back here. And I'm like, this is never going to taste like.
I'm back to cold brew out of the bottle.
Yeah, gross. Starbucks. Yuck. You can't even find Starbucks or Caribou even if you want to out there. Well, you can find Starbucks, but not Caribou.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all really good coffee. Everywhere we went, even the boat had good coffee.
Yeah. And now I'm getting tons of marketing for the Princess Cruise Line. And
yeah, that's the ship we went on. I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I did too. It's just been super interesting to see what they have to offer, like longer trips and different types of themes. The one I was reading about today was a celestial theme where you're doing star and planet sightseeing and observing nature. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
We did more observing of places and architecture.
Yeah, there was like 5 different ports that we went into. So 5 different places that we got to see from the cruise, which was nice. That's a nice way to travel, to not have to haul your stuff around to all the different places. That's a really big benefit. I did see that there was a 14-day cruise. There were people that were staying on when we got off for another however many days. That would be way too long on a boat. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't like that at all.
Yeah.
There were places that we would have wanted to have stayed longer, and you don't get to do that if you're on a boat. It's cool that you get like a taste of them. And some of them, that's all we wanted. And so that was fine. But I don't think I would enjoy doing that type of traveling for 14 full days.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really say for sure. I'd be willing to try it. I don't think I would do the Mediterranean for 14 days. I would do like maybe Alaska or...
You're so funny that you keep saying that you would do Alaska. You would not do Alaska for 14 days.
I would too.
No, you would not. No, she would not. She is so lying right now. She would not do that. She would not like it. She would like it for one day in Alaska to just see like the beauty of Alaska. And then she would be bored of it and she'd be cold and she would not be happy. Like, I don't know why she keeps telling people this.
I just think it would be a really cool cruise.
For one day. For like one day, you
I
would
don't
think
even
it's
think
cool.
the Alaskan cruise is 14 days. It's probably 7.
But even 7 days on a cold ship, you think you would like that?
I don't know.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm from Minnesota. I can tolerate the cold.
You would leave Minnesota to go on vacation to somewhere colder.
To see grizzly bears.
No, you wouldn't.
And glaciers.
No, she's lying. Do not let her fool you. She would not like it.
Okay. Anyways, some things have not changed. We're still finding stupid things to argue about.
It's not an argument when one of us is right.
All right, let's get into it. This is episode 44, and the first submission is from Jack. I can't wait to read this one.
Okay, go ahead.
What advice do you have for men who are emotionally mature, stable, charming, and ready for connection, but are not financially independent and still live with their parents. Specifically, what dating advice do you have for cool dudes who prioritize activities like coaching high school hockey over making a lot of money? What approach do women want to hear from men like us who are self-aware and in touch with our partners but lack financial means?
Oh, that is like the cutest.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's the cutest thing ever. Well, it really depends on what stage of life you're in. I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, we've talked about this before. When I was dating, I was living in my parents' basement, not making any money and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career. There are women out there that are in this exact same position that are also looking for a compatible partner that has goals and ambitions and wants to figure things out. And maybe they don't have their life totally figured out yet. And it sounds like you have a direction that you want to go in. That's most important. I think that what's not attractive is having no clue and then having no ambition to figure it out.
Right.
That's what's not attractive. You mooching off of your parents and being like, this is good enough and I'm just going to wing it, and having no desires to figure it out. That's not attractive.
Right.
But you sound like you have a lot going for you and you have a direction that you want to go, and it's something that you love and you're passionate about. Like, if you have those things and then you also know how to treat women, you also know how to communicate well with a partner and make your partner feel loved and make your partner feel seen, you have nothing to worry about. Like, there are, of course, going to be women that are chasing the stay-at-home mom lifestyle, but there's also women who are not. And there's also women who do not care about those things. There's always going to be those types of girls, and there's always going to be those types of guys that want to have that lifestyle as well, want to provide fully for their partner and fly them out to exotic places to spend time with them, and to each their own. The stronger relationships are the ones that aren't necessarily driven off of material things and what you get materialistically out of your partner. But not everybody's looking for that kind of relationship either. And so if you are looking for a relationship where you know how to treat your partner and the relationship that the two of you have and are building together is what's most important to you, and that you still have goals and you still have a direction and something that you're passionate about, I really don't think that you have anything to worry about.
Exactly. And we have talked about this ad nauseum. Warmth, presence, and how you make her feel often outrun what the resume says, what their bank account or the position that they hold. We've talked about how kindness, loyalty, consistency is what ranks higher in most women's minds. The fact is, you live with your parents and you prioritize coaching high school hockey over chasing the dollar right now. The drama that can sneak up on you and self-sabotage you is women aren't going to take me seriously, or I'm behind, or I have to apologize for my life. Those are the kinds of self-sabotaging thoughts that you have to be aware of so that you can be more intentional with your thinking and make sure that you choose the thoughts that identify you more accurately. That's what's going to have you showing up with more confidence.
I think exactly the way that you wrote this submission for the cool dudes that are coaching high school hockey over making a lot of money.
It says a lot about
like
how
the
he
way
actually
you describe,
thinks.
the way you describe yourself and the position you're in, that's exactly how you should talk about it. The way that you get in trouble, or the way that like women start to see you differently, is when you start talking about it differently. It's when you start positioning it as something that you should be embarrassed about or that you have to explain. If this is the lifestyle that you want and that you are happy with and that you're excited about and passionate about, that's how you should talk about it. Yeah.
And you'll find the woman who is just as happy and just as content and excited about that life as you are.
Yeah.
There is no reason why you should think you have to change what it is that you love about your life to attract the right woman. The right woman will be attracted to that.
Totally.
And so just being really mindful of how you frame this when you talk about it. Like, I'm building a meaningful career and I coach high school hockey because mentoring matters to me. Like, I feel like that is super attractive.
Yeah. Stay-at-home dads are a new trend. So there's lots of women making their own money now. I'm not saying that a lot of women want to provide for the family, but they could. And if it means her husband having a life that he really enjoys and loves and cherishes, while he loves, cherishes, and enjoys the life that you two have together, there's a lot of women that would take that any day.
Yep. It's just a matter of showing what it is that you value and how you frame what it is that you do and who you are. Mm-hmm. It's also important that you signal stability and that you offer some sort of timeline which addresses the resources piece. If it matters to you that you are actively doing something to better either your financial state or where you live, then you can say that, but make sure that you're framing it in a way that represents who it is that you are and what it is that you value.
Yeah. I would say as long as you're able to take care of you and your lifestyle right now, then I think that where you're at is totally fine.
Yeah. There's lots of ways to date well while you're living with your parents or while you're still living at home. You don't have to provide the fancy, expensive dates. You need to just be intentional, a cozy wine bar or a coffee shop and a walk. Mm-hmm. We've given these kind of suggestions over and over.
But I do not think that you should be trying to take her back to your parents' place. Honestly, it really depends on how old you are. You didn't say how old you are, but if you are in your mid to late 30s and you're living at your parents' house and it's a transitional period where you're trying to figure out where to next, unless it was extreme circumstances. We've had submissions where people have written in saying that they take care of their parents or whatever. There are extreme circumstances, but if that's not the case for you, that is a little bit of a red flag. But if you're in early 20s or maybe mid 20s, even late 20s, and you're still living with your parents, that's a little bit different of a story because you're just now getting into the space of finding your career and being financially stable enough to live on your own. And right now, especially, it is almost impossible if you don't have roommates, depending on where you're at in your career. A lot of people cannot live on their own based on their salary at an entry-level position or out of college. So it's reasonable within your 20s that that's your scenario. If you're in your mid to late 30s, that is a little bit more of a red flag that you would want to be actively trying to figure out. It's okay.
And putting a plan together.
Putting a plan together. It's okay if this is a transition period and this is something that you're in the process of figuring out. Again, you should talk about it that way. Don't self-deprecate. Don't talk about it in a way that's shameful to you, but show I'm in a position where I'm trying to figure out my finances and getting to a place that I want to be so that I can have my own place. I'm picturing this TikTok that I saw the other day that was a guy in his late 30s literally bragging about the fact that he lives with his parents and he loves it. Free food, free laundry, free place to stay. Why would I want to move out?
Cute service.
Yeah, that is not cute. If you are still relying on your mom to do your laundry and cook food for you at the age of 30, that's not attractive. At that point, you are a grown adult. You should have those things figured out. You should be trying to put plans in place to get those things figured out if you haven't already.
Right. Putting a plan together and sticking to that shows who you are as a person. It shows the consistency. It shows your ambition. Be resourceful and make sure that you aren't being reckless. When you don't have the money to spend, don't be overspending your budget on dating. Decide 2 dates a month and the type of money that you can actually put towards those 2 dates every single month. That's what a responsible person does who's trying to get themselves into a better situation.
We get that question quite a bit too. Should I wait until I'm more financially stable to date? There's different levels to it, but we just talked to a client about this actually. And really at the end of the day, it's your choice. Are you going to be happier and less stressed about finances if you spend the time right now to work and save up money and figure that situation out? Or are you going to be happier trying to find a balance, 2 dates a month, 1 date a month, 3 dates a month, and understanding that is part of your financial budget and just figuring it out from there because you want to meet people right now. You want to go on dates and you want to have those experiences. It really is a personal preference. The main piece of that is how are you feeling about it? If you are going into this thinking that you have to date right now, no matter what your finances are, you need to figure it out so that you can be out meeting people, that is not a good place to date from. And it's going to leave you more stressed. And you're not even going to enjoy the dates that you're going on because of it.
Right. And that's going to kill the attraction faster than a small bank account ever will. Be on the look out for that apology type energy that you talked about, explaining your life as if you need permission or being apologetic for the money that you have or the living situation that you are in. Being inconsistent is also going to be a huge red flag that's going to kill the attraction. Saying you'll call and then not calling or ghosting her. Keep your word every single time. And thirdly, that performative spending that I think is easy to fall into when you are trying to put your best foot forward.
Oh my God. I have so many stories. One of my clients taking a girl on a first date to a Michelin star restaurant and then her ghosting him after it.
Yeah.
Because it was a first date. Unless you just have money coming out of your butt, you should not be taking women out to Michelin star restaurants for a first date. It makes zero sense. You should be finding first dates that are a low time and money commitment because this is your very first time meeting somebody. You do not need to be dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a stranger. I know things are expensive now, and I know going out for drinks, even just having a couple of drinks, can add up really quick. You do not need to be going out and trying to impress all of these girls that you're going on dates with, because if you're dating the right way, that means you're going on dates frequently and you're actively trying to meet new people, which means your bill can add up fast. And these are all first dates. And so you have to keep that into context or you're going to hate dating because not only were you not a good fit, was she not a good fit, but now your bank account is hurting for it.
Right. So to wrap things up, Jack, you do not need to be rich to be attractive. You need to be reliable, emotionally available, and on a path that feels right for you, that you know how to articulate. We've said this a million times, but you are not here to be chosen. You're here to choose. And your values, your plan, and the woman who meets what it is that you're looking for, she's going to fall right into your path and she's going to be more than happy with everything that you have to offer.
Yeah.
So build the trust within yourself first and let your dating life rise to meet that standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Money isn't everything. We've been shown that in so many different ways. There are other ways to make your partner very happy and feeling loved and cared for. It's finally here. The Self-Made Man Dating Journal is officially live and ready for you to grab on Amazon. This was designed specifically for single men who are serious about improving their dating life. It helps you track your dates, reflect on your experiences, and actually learn from them so you can stop repeating old patterns and start seeing real progress.
What I love most about this journal is how intentional it is. It's not just about writing down what happened. It's about helping you get clear in what you want, confident in how you're showing up, and connected to what's working and what's not. You'll find daily prompts, weekly reflection pages, and the date log. You'll record everything from how you felt before the date, what went well, what felt off, and what you do differently next time. That kind of self-awareness is what sets successful daters apart. This journal will help you slow down, spot patterns, and become more intentional with every single interaction.
We only printed a limited batch for this first run, so if this is something you've been needing, go grab it now before they're gone. We'll drop the link in the show notes and let us know what you think. We love hearing your guys' feedback.
We can't wait for you to start using the Self-Made Man Dating Journal.
Okay, submission 2 is written in by Wayne, and it says, a few months ago, I asked out a girl from church. She declined with a valid reason, but did not suggest an alternative. We see each other once or twice a week as we are part of the same social group. I'm confused because she still seemed interested, often complimenting me or finding excuses to chat. I worry about asking her out again and potentially making our friendship awkward. Is it worth another try or do things change quickly? Thank you for your time. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Church communities can add layers of nuance. And so I think that it takes real maturity to pause and figure out the right way forward. And so I appreciate the fact that he has written in. I don't think I would ask her out right now. I would let some time go by and see what happens. Would you?
I wouldn't ask her out again. There's a lot of guys that would wait like 6 months and hang their hat on this and hope for the best and then not explore anything else. And you definitely should not do that. I don't think that you should let time decide. If things drastically change, like she is all of a sudden going out of her way to invite you to things, maybe even asking you to do things one-on-one, if she is calling you out of nowhere, if she is doing more than what she's doing right now, like drastically more, then we could reconsider this. But I don't think time is going to change a whole lot for the most part. You guys might spend a lot more time together and maybe she will change her mind, but there should be signs that her mind is being changed.
Well, that's what I meant. Time is going to reveal whether or not she starts to act differently.
Yeah, but he's saying it's confusing because she's giving him signs. And so I don't want you sitting here trying to pick apart the signs that she's giving you right now. She has told you that she's not interested or she declined for a valid reason and then did not suggest an alternative. That is all you need to know. And I get why that's confusing if she's still trying to talk to you and giving you compliments. I had plenty of guy friends growing up where I loved giving my guy friends compliments. I loved hanging out with them. They were who I preferred to spend my time with. But to me, we're all friends. And so I get why it's confusing.
The confusion is coming from what he's making her behavior mean. And that's the good news because that puts him back in the driver's seat. He has to really manage his mind around the way he thinks about her behavior. So he's thinking, maybe she does like me. Maybe she didn't understand. Maybe I need to be more clear. No, you've already made your ask and it was clear enough. And the thought you need to be holding on to is you've done your part. And unless something drastically changes, you have your answer.
Yeah. If she's not suggesting an alternative time, that is your answer. And whether that's because she truly is busy and truly had a valid reason, that is still the answer. Women will prioritize the guys that they are interested in and want to see, especially if she's hanging out with you in group settings, but then is not taking you up on one-on-one situations, but you still see her around. She's still interacting with you. That just tells me that like she sees you as a friend.
Yeah.
And she doesn't see you as more than that right now. And I just don't think that time itself is going to change that. I think you're best to move on. And if something changes where she is definitely giving you clear signals and maybe even asking you to do things, then you revisit this. But until then, it's time to move on.
So Wayne, you have self-respect and you don't need to chase any sort of maybe or confusing answers. Like hold to the fact that you have your answer and let her answer teach you and live congruently with that information. That is what emotional adulthood looks like. And it's attractive in every setting, including church. And if things change, she will come back and let you know. And then you get to decide whether you want to move forward. Hey there. If you're loving the Just Ask Her podcast, please take a quick second to rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps more awesome listeners like you find the show. And don't forget to spread the love by sharing this episode with all of your friends. All right, back to Just Ask Her. All right, submission 3 is from Theo. He says, hello, ladies. I've been wondering if I should broaden my search for potential love. As a frequent gym goer, I'm looking for someone who shares my passion for fitness. I've noticed many of my gym friends have found their soulmates at the gym, but I've always believed in not dating where I work out. I've taken Gracie's advice from her Instagram and have been trying to change my routine by going to different gyms and changing the times I go to my usual gym. However, I've noticed that the women who would be perfect for me are either already in a relationship or not interested in dating. Should I have acted sooner like my friends did, or should I consider looking outside of the gym for love?
I think there's lots of options. I think that you're not just confined to the one spot. Yes, it sounds like you've been doing your best, trying out different gyms and things like that. There's also different types of activities that, like, who knows, maybe your future wife has a killer at-home gym. She doesn't go to the gym.
Very true.
There are tons of different possibilities to still find women that prioritize being active and even love the gym that aren't necessarily at the gym or at your gym. If you only have one-off situations where you've gone to a few different gyms a few different times, well, yeah, it's pretty likely that you're not going to hit the jackpot on just those few tries. It would take having more reps. If you're so bought and sold on she has to be a gym rat and whatever. I think something that people tend to forget is couples really adapt to each other. When you like somebody, you really adapt to them and you try the things that they like and you try to get involved in the things that they're involved in. And I'm not saying that you should be trying to find somebody that isn't a gym goer and try to convert her, but it's also not out of the realm of possibility. If she likes other active things, it's likely that she would like going to the gym, especially going to the gym with her partner who loves to work out with her and wants to see her get stronger and is super encouraging. I used to prefer going to the gym alone. Now I hate going to the gym alone. I would rather go with a partner and work out together and cheer each other on and be encouraged. There are lots of different possibilities here, especially when you're putting yourself out there and you're trying out different things and you're not seeing tons of results. It's fair to have the smaller ways of thinking on this, but you should try to open your mind up to a more abundant way of thinking. There are so many different types of activities that would mean that she cares about her health and is active and takes care of herself.
I also want to caution you just a little bit because over half of female gym goers report harassment, and a sizable share changed their routines or switched gyms as a result. So it can be a place where you have to have extra consideration if you're using it as a place to find women.
Yeah, I don't think it's like necessarily the best place by any means. I also don't think it's impossible. I have talked about it quite a few times, and I only teach natural approaches to my clients. There is no pickup artist-y anything coming from the things that I teach for this specific reason, because not just in the gym, but everywhere, women are always on guard and always feeling unsafe and uncomfortable. And so you have to be extra considerate to those things. And if you are striking up a natural, genuine conversation that makes sense within the context of wherever you're at, then you're pretty safe of not making her feel uncomfortable, especially if you're watching her cues and watching for signs that she may be uncomfortable. I hated being interrupted at the gym. I didn't even like seeing friends at the gym because I wanted to get into the gym and get my workout done and get out. The last thing I wanted was to get caught in a 20, 30-minute conversation and then lose my gym time. And so the biggest thing with meeting women at the gym, always try before or after the workout. That's really hard to do. That's pretty lucky timing if you catch her at one of those times. But if you're going to catch her during her workouts, then they need to be very small conversations, very incremental, and you're reading her cues every single time. The first time should literally just be getting familiar with her, whether it's like, hey, can I use that after you? Or, wow, that was impressive. If she just squatted a whole bunch of weight or whatever. But it should not be pulling her away from her workout to have a conversation with her and try to build rapport. Building rapport, unfortunately, at the gym has to go in very small increments so that you're not running the risk of annoying her or making her feel uncomfortable or making her feel like she has to change her gym time because you won't leave her alone. There's all these different things that can be avoided if you're doing it right. But yes, I think unfortunately women do have that experience quite a bit of being quote unquote harassed. And that's not always being super forward or like making weird comments. That happens too, which is crazy and ridiculous. But outside of that, even just not reading her cues and not understanding that she wants to move on and keep working out, that also could be annoying or turn her away.
And today's most common way of couples meeting is not at the gym. It's actually online. And so you would be better served.
My original thought when you were reading this is, are you on the apps? Have you been on the apps? Because that is a very clear indicator. That is one of the things that you can get right away from somebody's profile is like whether or not they go to the gym or they prioritize an active lifestyle. That's usually one of the things that especially gym rats plaster on their profiles. So if you're not online using the apps, it's definitely worth considering.
Yeah. And then you can also consider other places or events where somebody like her would be, run clubs or climbing walls or
Pilates.
Yeah, adult rec leagues, pickleball,
for sure,
Spartan training groups, 5Ks. CrossFit. Yeah, there's so many other
literally
things.
Endless amounts of things.
Yeah. So those are going to be the settings that I feel like normalize chatting and having more casual conversations, and it's going to feel more natural. And they allow you to just leave your home gym as your home gym and not the place that you're trying to find the next love of your life.
Yeah. So to answer your question, should I consider looking outside the gym for love? Yes. And should I have acted sooner like my friends did? That's never a helpful thought.
Right.
Meaning in the past, should I have done this differently? Never a helpful thought, ever. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. It is never a helpful thought. What you should be focusing on right now is what it is that you're going to do now. If you're feeling regretful or feeling like you should, quote unquote, should have done this sooner, do it now. Do it now. And that's all you need to focus on. Sitting here beating yourself up over like, did I miss my chance? Did I ruin it or blow it? All my friends did it so much faster. That is so not helpful. And it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. And we have spent so much time talking about the circumstance of the gym, but it truly boils down to what it is that you're believing. Any of the regret or the feeling like you are late to the show, it's coming from your beliefs. Should I have acted sooner? The gym is my only shot, or I'm doing something wrong. Those are all beliefs that are a choice. Choose differently, choose different beliefs, and you will feel differently. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel more curious. You'll feel more like explorative. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with the way you're thinking about this and very little to do actually about the gym.
Mm-hmm. This was a really good question. I think that there are lots of men who probably have the exact same question. And so I definitely know that you're not alone in this. And I appreciate you writing in because I feel like you have preferences for how you look for a future partner. And it's okay to have those preferences, but don't get so locked in on specifics on them. If you're going to have preferences like those, I always tell clients, you got to look at them separately from non-negotiables because things change, couples adapt. You never know what partner you actually are meant to be with until you start exploring different options. I would not close off to one type of person ever.
Great advice. And I think that on that note, we will conclude episode 44.
Yep, that's all we've got for this week's podcast. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Dating with Gracie. We put out new podcast episodes every single Wednesday. So we'll look forward to seeing you right back here next week. And in the meantime, no matter where you are or what situation you're in, just ask her.